All right, everybody, welcome to the PWZ podcast. This is the Professor Rick Del Santo, and joining me, as always, on this glorious day, Showtime Marcel Williams. What is happening, man? We've been busy this last couple weeks, and weren't here last week. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, man. I've been doing a couple of shows, been busy, and then we just headed into Dieselmania, which was last night as we recording Sunday night right now. But yeah, man, just been busy, and I tried to make it last weekend, and I'm sorry to disappoint whoever's be watching and love the content that me and you put together, but maybe it never happened again. I can't guarantee that, but
There's no
we'll
guarantees
get
on
there
that.
together.
We're both adults and family men, so you never know what can be out there, what happens. But you were traveling last weekend, my man. I was also, I guess I was leaving Pennsylvania as you were going into Pennsylvania for a booking.
Mhm.
Tell me about that. You went into Sanctuary, correct?
Yeah, Sanctuary in Hazelton, Pennsylvania. It was a real cool deal. They had some great, it's like a American Idol type show where you do your match and then they critique you, and even the effects alone with the lights and the entrance and all that stuff is great. I enjoy it. Should be back there again in next month. Yeah, man, I'm just making the rounds, and then obviously we talked about I was at NEW, and then I did Shut Up and Wrestle last Saturday,
You
and
made it to the
made
finals
it
of that tournament.
made it to the finals, but didn't win the championship. And talking about not winning championships, we'll talk about that in a few. But didn't win a championship last Saturday at Shut Up and Wrestle.
But you made it against Marcos Santiago, Magnificent Marcos, excuse me, who is a tremendous wrestler. I watched that match courtesy of Kincaid Files uh, on his
I got my
YouTube
rematch
channel.
coming soon, though.
You
I
all
got
right? There you go.
Oh, I got
When's
a
that?
second shot. And this time I won't be wrestling three times. I'll be fresh as a daisy this time.
There you go. You got to go really go after him. So let's see. Also, I guess we can get into Dieselmania. You want to get into that?
Why not? We get into
Why
it.
not? We were both there last night. It was a tremendous evening. Um, let's see. Where should we start? I guess there was the first match I really, really dug. I thought that was a way to start off the show.
Hmm.
Caroline King successfully defended his uh, Intercontinental Championship against TJ Crawford. And
Yes.
I really dug this match, man. It was just I've seen TJ Crawford before. I'm more familiar with Caroline King, and I'm always impressed with him. TJ Crawford split his head open a little bit, I guess, while he was outside too.
Yeah.
Uh, he
Yeah.
had a little blood in that
Stellar.
blonde hair. Yeah, man, I was not expecting to see that at Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling show. Um, but it was a really good match, man. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a real competitive match. I watched it back last night, and Kylon King continues to improve, and T.J. Crawford recently made a cameo on AEW Dark.
Yes,
So,
sir. I think that's
it's,
airing. Is that airing next week or was that this past week?
I think it's next week. Is it?
Okay.
Maybe next week. Um, but T.J. Crawford, great young man, great attitude, very humble, and Kylon King's the same way. And two of them together opened the show. They started lightning hot, and it was just real good.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. No, I don't have a match list in front of me. Let me just double check. Was the next match the United States title? Am I wrong about
No, it
that?
was actually Lucas Chase versus Bledsoe.
You're right. Lucas Chase and Bloodsaw. This is a match. Bloodsaw has been trying to get his hands on Lucas Chase for months. Uh, there's been Lucas Chase, the cure. He's out there to cure professional wrestling and rid the world of people like Bloodsaw. So he's attacked him, and he had Zechariah turn his back on him and join with the cure. So Lucas Chase defeated, which I was not sure how this was going to turn out, but I thought maybe Bloodsaw might have it in him to come back in and take Lucas Chase out, but he did not, and Lucas Chase walked out the victor.
Yeah, Lucas Chase pulled a surprise victory over Bloodsaw, and he continued to spread that cure, but it was questionable outcome. And hopefully, Bloodsaw gets his revenge in the future. But that was a great singles competition between the two since the rematch from the King of Paradise qualifier.
Yep. I do have my match list in front of me now. The second match was the United States title match. This one I thought was really good. Ichiban won the United States Championship, which I was very happy about. But not only, I thought this was a really, really good match. It was really well played out.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, Maxim Morozov assisted Ichiban, and there is no more Maxim Morozov. He turned on Zafar and helped Ichiban win the title. So
Yeah, man. It was a
I
long
was
time
told
coming.
later. It was a long time coming. I was told later in the evening that the Russian is dead. So,
Yeah, as you told.
yes.
That's what I heard too. I seen the hat in the trash. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? So yeah. So basically, I mean, collusion looked like they wasn't okay,
yeah.
and it was a great moment for Ichiban. This has been a year of Ichiban. He won the King of Paradise obviously early on in the beginning of the summer, and then you got he won the United States Championship. So Ichiban is pulling a lot of weight in PAPW, and I enjoyed the matchup between him and Zafar. It was real good.
He's very enjoyable in the ring. I like that he does a handspring elbow, a la Great Muda. He flies off the ropes that dude he's awesome. He's really good.
Mhm.
So let's see where we are next. It was the street fight, Flash Waller and uh, Chris Battle. This one, and I have my video of it. It was about 20 minutes long. This was I gotta tell you, man, this match was pretty brutal. The thing is, it barely left the ring for a street fight. I thought they would go all over. I really did think that it was going to go all through the arena. Dustin Flash Waller, of course, Chris Battle walks out with Battle Academy. Flash Waller comes out a la Cactus Jack with a garbage pail full of junk ready to go after uh, Chris Battle. I got to tell you, they had a really good freaking hardcore match. They brought up tables. They brought up was it a door or whatever from underneath the ring, or was it another table?
It
They
was,
went through it. Both of them went through it. They used chairs. I mean, this shit was brutal. This really was brutal. I really enjoyed this. And now Flash Waller is your new Alley Fights champion.
yeah, man. It's a war that been brewing since springtime.
Mm-hmm.
So it came to a close last night, and Flash regained his Alley Fight Championship.
I gotta tell you, and I've said this before on this podcast many, many times. This has been my favorite feud this year. It's been really that good. It's kept my interest, and the Battle Academy has given Flash Waller quite a bit of trouble throughout the entire year. But I'm glad that it's now it's his turn. He took that belt.
Yes, absolutely.
So let's see. I got here. Don't have my glasses.
Karen Bam Bam.
Karen Bam Bam and Skylar Gray. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
Let's turn it a different
We're
way.
partners. I can
Yeah,
tag
man.
in. I'm
Yeah,
tag
but
in.
you're behind this stuff, so you remember him. Yeah, man. Tag me in. Let me tag you in. I meant to say, but yeah, Sergeant Murray came out and said that he's tired of Battle Academy doing all their stuff. That they're,
Mhm.
they're doing all this sorts of stuff. They've been attacking basically guys from the Miracle Generation, mainly Flash. So he called out Skylar Gray and said, "By the way, you have a match, Karen Bam Bam," which I was very excited to see her return to PAPW. It's been probably about a year or so since, maybe a little bit over a year, and she's a really great talent. She's really good.
Yes.
She really squashed Skylar Gray. She was quite pissed off that she had a match, but she wasn't in there that long because she got killed pretty much.
Yeah, she got murdered. She got squashed and done. 'Cause, it's been a long
How
time
was
coming
that?
for her anyway.
How was that for your first woman-on-woman match in PAPW,
I
Miss
guess it
Gray?
was satisfying to the fans, you know. I
To the
mean,
fans, yeah,
to the
and the
fans.
fans
I mean,
and the fans definitely enjoyed to see Karen Bam Bam back as well.
nah,
They really
absolutely.
enjoyed that.
She's always, women's wrestling is always welcome to PAPW, and Karen Bam, it was good to see her back.
Absolutely. And in a ladder match, dude, this match was freaking great too. The ladder match, the Haven regained the tag team titles from the House of Pain. I was a little worried, to be honest with you. Now, if anybody listened to last week's preview episode with Talking Tommy and Big Daddy.
Yeah.
We were wondering about how the hell the House of Pain were going to get up on those ladders. Were they reinforced? Whatnot? Nick Payne climbed halfway up that big ass ladder and came down with a freaking elbow drop. I thought he killed, I think it was Sean Haven, I swear to God, with that elbow. But, you know, this actually was a very, very enjoyable match. I really like this a lot. Very well done.
Yeah, it was very another brutal match after the street fight match, but it's been a long time coming. The feud been going on for almost 2 years, and you know, the Haven finally defeated the House of Pain and regained the tag team titles for a second time.
If I remember correctly, didn't the House of Pain defeat them for the titles for that third reign?
Yeah,
am I correct?
they beat them at Dieselmania 4.
Yep. Which was 2019, I think. There's
yeah,
no Dieselmania. There's no Dieselmania last year, so
yeah,
that's
you
pretty
know,
crazy
we
to
pulled
think about.
that WrestleMania that we can't talk about that was in the Performance Center.
Right. So, Bull Dread won the Battle Royal, of course. That's awesome. Dread is a legend in the New England area. There's a lot of people that that popped into this Battle Royal. It was just, I love Battle Royals. I'm a sucker for them. You don't see them that often anymore in modern wrestling. It's basically, it seems like it was a thing of the 80s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Paradise Alley seems.
Speaking of 80s, you know, there was a cameo with Mario Mancini in it.
I'm just going to mention that. Mario Mancini. Speaking of 80s, Mario Mancini is an 80s WWF legend. He was the final elimination. He eliminated himself, basically because he, in tribute to Big Jim Anderson, basically, that was my partner. Bull Dread was his tag team partner in Paradise Alley. So, for a while.
Got a spider that did a run-in on me.
Oh, jeez. That's right. I got I live in the woods, man. We get bugs that sneak in here all the time, living in the woods.
Seeing something just go down like that, I'm like,
yeah, get the hell out of here. So in the main event, Matthias retained the title in a triple threat. Oh shit, you were part of that match. I'm sorry. You got damn near murdered, my friend. By Vlad, and I got to tell you, man, Vlad has been a thorn in your side for the last 6 months, attacking you every so often, probably even longer than that. Correct?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been like a good probably 4 or 5 months, and truthfully, he made it personal now because you seen as last night. I was close. I was real close in regaining this championship, the championship that I held twice, and he just came out of nowhere. And now, before, you know, I thought I got my just due at the Rumble, eliminated him, got rid of him. Now, he made it real personal now. But I'll choose to announce some certain things later on. I don't want to talk about that because now, you know, I'm going to let Matthias enjoy his win, his moment. And it was questionable, but sooner or later, I will get, because I will listen to the podcast that you did with Big Daddy and talking Tom. And yes, I should feel some type of way because it was supposed to be a singles match between me and Matthias. And obviously, you know, Matthias lost a non-title match somewhere else. And then not only that, it was controversial ending at the Rumble. And, you know, lawyers got involved and all sort of stuff. And that's fine. But I'm still entitled to my singles championship match. And sooner or later, that's going to happen. But I'm going to take care of Vlad first. I'll take care of Vlad first.
Yeah, man. He's every opportunity you seem to have, he seems to come in there and try to get you and murder you.
You don't understand that we're friends. I know where he lives at. I know where he works. I know what clubs he hangs in. I don't understand this, but
show up with a baseball bat. You know,
that's all I could do. You know what I'm saying? So sooner or later, I stay on social media. You'll figure it out.
Oh shit. So I thought it was kind of, no offense to Matthias, but I thought it was kind of cheap. He took advantage, unless he just didn't see you get attacked. But
as I look at the video, he didn't see it. So I'm going to give him the questionable of the doubt, even though, you know, they had their history and they was friends. But as I looked at the video, he didn't see it.
A lot of people were wondering. people I spoke to afterwards was that supposed to be a heel turn on Matias's part. I don't agree with that. I don't think that that's necessarily true, but it's possible he just did not see you get attacked.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens.
But you know,
overall, it was a pretty good show.
I need my shot, but yeah, it was overall a good
absolutely.
show. I enjoyed it.
It was a lot of fun to be at. There's going to be. I have some footage I'm going to be uploading to our YouTube channel throughout the week, with time permitting. So keep a lookout, everybody, for that. So we missed a week of talking about stuff. Now, I guess we have a sort of new WWE champion in Big E. I thought that this thing played out really well. And I think I texted you earlier, and now obviously I don't have full notes, and I don't remember what happened, but throughout the whole episode, remember how me and you always talk about the bullet points. The most important part of the episode was Big E winning the title.
Yes.
He laid it out there on Twitter earlier in the day that he was going to be cashing in no matter who was the champion at the end of the evening, or after that match between Bobby Lashley and was it Randy Orton? Is that correct?
Yeah.
See? I'm not really, I don't forget everything. So I do forget a lot, but not everything.
Bullet points.
Yes. So, within that 3 hours, they kept teasing that kept building it up. Little did you know, well, he actually cashed in and won the title. Now, sometimes if people say they're going to, just does not end up working out that way sometimes. But and then when he got in there with Bobby Lashley, there was a chance for a little while that he might not. Then he pulled it off, and I got to tell you that I'm pretty excited for him. I really am really excited for him because right now, if is there anybody more deserving than Big E Langston to be WWE champion? It's a long time coming. To be honest with you, that guy is a damn good wrestler. He's got the size. He's got the character. He's just somebody that should have been champion a couple years back. And now he's finally there. And I hope it's nothing like. There's a lot of rumors going around that he's just going to be a transitional champion and he's going to lose it when they go to Saudi Arabia. And I really hope that's not the case, But I hope he keeps it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great moment for Big E. Like you said, it was long overdue. And, Kofi had it a few years ago. And now was the Big E moment. And, like he said, it's for Brody. That was his close friend, Nate Brody E. And it was a great moment because, there's only a few African-American black WWE champions. And he's one of them. And he made history.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
I congratulate him, and I hopefully he not no transition champion. Hopefully he just have a long run to WrestleMania or whatever and keep it going. And I watched Extreme Rules. We just watched Extreme Rules, and obviously they're gonna set up for Monday Night Raw. It's gonna be Bobby Lashley versus Big E. WWE Championship.
Now that's a perfect segue, by the way. Let me get my notes for Extreme Rules. And I did not watch the pre-show because I messaged you during the pre-show. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Because you forgot that it was actually on. I know we talked about it a couple days ago.
Yeah, dude. I forgot. I'm sitting there. You messaged me. I'm like, hold up. I was like, holy shit. I was like, wait, there's Extreme Rules tonight. And yeah, dude, it's been a long weekend, and like they advertised Extreme Rules, but they really didn't advertise they did do WrestleMania or SummerSlam. So it's like, okay, well, when you told me, I was like, oh yeah, it is tonight. But there are a lot of big things that happen on Extreme Rules too that we could talk about. But before we get there, because I know this is your show. Before we get there, let's talk about the After Ash Stadium.
Yes. Let's forget
Dynamite.
I want to talk about Dynamite, not necessarily
because I was there.
I know, and I'm pretty like. Let me tell you something. I have not recorded an episode since I think Monday, so I did not get the opportunity to say this on the podcast. I probably should have been there myself. I'm scrolling through my Facebook feed that evening. I probably knew 30 or 40 people that went there. Now, mind you, I could have fucking just bought a ticket and went with whoever. And I was kind of upset about that. I don't know what made me not think to freaking buy a ticket and just go.
Well, I tell you what, the promise now is when they come, because now I heard it's gonna be a yearly thing now. So next
Okay.
year,
Okay.
me and you go.
There we go. And now I was just like, and I got to
Okay.
tell you, man, I don't know why. Like, I was pretty upset about that at the end of the night. I was like, fuck, I really should have gone, but I
Yeah.
didn't. So, but I do have to say, um, I watched it on TV probably a little bit later than everybody. But when I got home, I really turned it on. And as soon as that Brian Danielson's music hit, I'm like, all right, this is really cool. The two of these guys, Brian Danielson and Kenny Omega, the crowd was fucking electric for that entire half an hour. Um, before the bell rang, when the bell rang, before they even touched each other, the crowd was freaking electric. Like they were so loud, and as soon as they locked up, the crowd popped. Probably one of the biggest pops I've ever heard for anything in my life, just for a lockup. And I was just like, holy shit. I watched that whole entire match with just a giant shit eating grin on my face because I was just so excited to watch these two wrestle each other, knowing that was going to be an amazing match.
Hmm.
So, what was that like as a person being there?
Being there, I said it before to a lot of people. I never been to WrestleMania 3 at the Silver Dome. I never been to Hogan and The Rock at the Sky Dome. I never been to Omega and Okada at the Tokyo Dome. All I gotta say is it was electric in there. And when they started off the show with that at 8 p.m. on the dot, and I was like, hold up, okay, now we're starting off hot. We're starting off hot. These, Tony Khan ain't fucking around. He's like, okay, we're gonna just start this dynamite because you can't do like you gotta understand, and that just goes with a few weeks ago when we seen the CM Punk when he came back at
Mm-hmm.
Rampage.
Yep.
Like you gotta start it off hot. People have waited to see certain things. So instead, you waiting a whole 2 hours or 3 hours. Just start off with it,
Yeah.
and then build something up at the end, which we'll talk about in a minute with the women's action. But I could tell you, like, I had to look at my son and my wife, and I was like, like, you ever hear about like those wrestling moments that you see, those little clips, and they was like, yeah, I said, this is one of like I never been to the Nitro at the Georgia Dome when Goldberg beat Hogan. Like
Right.
this is the big deal where this is a historic non WWE event
Mm-hmm.
at an Arthur Ashe Stadium, that a place that wrestling never been at ever,
It's a tennis
and it was
stadium.
a
That's
big
it.
deal. It's a tennis
Yep.
stadium.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, I drove by this stadium a lot of times going down there, and I always said why they don't have wrestling there. It's a nice stadium. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Obviously, the tennis stadium, but you have all these WrestleManias at baseball stadiums, football stadiums, whatever stadium is possible. But this stadium right here is special because it's an Arthur Ashe Stadium. It got a lot of history of the U.S. Open, and it's just a historic area. And for them to have that there and pack it out the way they did, and have the match that they did. It was a whole 30 minutes. You wouldn't even tell that was 30 minutes. And you're just invested from beginning to end. The match ended the way it's supposed to end it so they can have the rematch. And I enjoy it. I can't wait for the rematch.
I've watched that match 4 times already, and I'll
Me
probably
too.
watch it. I'll probably watch it again this coming week because it was that fucking good.
But
Literally.
you know what, though? You know what irks my nerves sometimes is, and I know we talk about a lot of stuff like what we probably segue into that in a minute, the Young Bucks. But Kenny Omega get a lot of flack from Jim Cornette and all these other people. And I'm just gonna say, like, Kenny Omega can work. The dude can work. I
The
like
dude's I'm a huge Cornette fan. I really am. I
yes.
could see why he doesn't like certain things that Kenny Omega has done over the years.
Yes.
Because like did you ever see that movie that he made? It's like a short film where they're just bitch slapping each other. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that's something worthy of being made fun of for, I personally. As well as wrestling a 9-year-old girl and wrestling a blow up doll and whatever, what have you. I mean, it's worthy of being made fun of. But the
Absolutely.
guy can be a very serious wrestler, and he is probably one of the top performers in all of professional wrestling today.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
first time I've ever said anything like that about Kenny Omega, just for the record.
And you know what, too? Him with the addition of Don Callis is great. Don Callis is great as well. So
I
it's
think that Don Callis is a great manager. I liked him when he was in WWF as the Jackal. I liked when he was Cyrus in ECW. And
yeah.
sometimes, it had been probably close to 20 years, probably since he'd been in a managerial role. You forget how good somebody can be. You really do. And it
Yes.
was once he started coming in. Now, mind you, when he was, had that executive position in Impact, and he was doing that and commentating, that heel persona of him didn't really come out that often.
Mm.
But him coming in as Kenny Omega's manager, you can mind you, Don Callis is gold. That's all I'm going to say. He's probably one of the best managers that's been around in the last 20, almost 30 years. Promise. There's not a lot of managers anymore.
And then
So,
not only that, don't let him jump on commentary with Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross. Is even gold. That's gold
yeah.
right there.
Yeah. I want to read a comment that a message that somebody sent me the night after. I'm not going to list the person, but this is about now, mind you. This person is somebody that follows me on Instagram. Every so often, they will comment to me or send me a message regarding their hatred for AEW, their love for things like MLW, and their hatred for Ring of Honor and stuff. So it says, okay, no spoilers, but Danielson and Omega match was whack. Okay, too much no selling. Then it went on too long. I don't know why these neckbeards, hipsters basically, think AEW is so innovative when it's the same crap every week. Danielson is calling himself American Dragon now. Give me a fucking break. No, I had to correct him that Danielson has always been the American Dragon. That's just WWE took that away from him. I did have to say that. And then I was like, well, he used that name in Ring of Honor. It's like Ring of Honor is whack as well. It's like only guys on on there that he liked were Jay Lethal, excuse me, sorry, and the Briscoes. So everybody else there is trash. No, I don't agree with that one at all. I think that Ring of Honor is a very good product. They have their ups and downs, and I just think that I got to read something here that somebody sent me. I don't agree with that at all. I think that Danielson, like, how could you sit and watch Danielson Omega and say that was a shit match? I think it was possibly one of the greatest technical matches, and it's been called one of the best matches that has aired on regular free television in years.
and years.
And All Elite Wrestling has produced probably 3 matches that can be ranked as some of the best television matches just on free TV. You had
Yeah, I think that
An
the
Iron
last
Man
one.
match,
Yes,
Omega
go ahead.
and Pac, Omega and Pac,
Uh-huh.
and then Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker was a fucking phenomenal match. They tore the house down, man. And Thunder
Yeah.
Rosa, it's not because Thunder Rosa, that match actually, Thunder Rosa is like one of my favorite wrestlers around, like modern. But that match actually got me really into Britt Baker, thinking that she was way better than I had actually thought she was at that time period, because I wasn't completely convinced that she was a great wrestler. That match is the one that convinced me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, AEW's put out some good content, and this one right here, they knew that they had to put on a great production in a big stadium, 20,000 fans, and it was just a moment. It was a great moment. The match is the match of the year. Is the match of the year
Absolutely, it's definitely going to be on that list. It's definitely going to be on the
like,
list. Like, if
and then they're gonna have a rematch. So it's like,
well, the thing is, like, my thing is, where do you go from here? You had only a half hour. You can do a 60-minute Iron Man match. I mean, I would die to see that. I would love
yeah,
to see these guys go for 60 minutes. And you know what? It's not going to be boring at all.
it's not. It's not. I
No.
was not bored sitting there live, and I enjoyed it. And then we gonna segue to Sting. Sting really tore the house down as well with
64 years
Darby
old.
Allin and FTR.
64. And I heard the place was going nuts for Sting
It was
the
not.
whole time.
Yes,
And
yes.
mind you, that dude is 64 years old. Now, mind you, he was out for a couple years because of injury, and his career, WWE, excuse me, did not pan out the way that you would think it should
Mhm.
have. Um, so the thing with that is like, why did he come back to wrestling? Okay. Probably he might have been a little bit discouraged with his WWE career, so decided that when he signed with AEW, he wanted to be part of the active roster, but he might not be able to because his body at 64 years old, he doesn't wrestle that often.
Mm-mm.
But the crowd was popping for Sting the most, which was freaking amazing. The one freaking dude. I mean, the crowds always love Darby Allin. FTR is probably the best tag team in wrestling today. At least not. They're just a huge, really good throwback. But you had a 64-year-old guy that's been around for close to 40 years, 35 years or something to that effect in that ring, and that's who the people were really focused on and cheering for the most out of that match. It's insane.
That was a real good match, and I enjoyed every bit of it. And Sting put in some work that night. I was sitting there watching, I was like, Sting
Yeah,
put in work tonight.
dude, it was great, man. I loved it. Um, Not to mention, not that it was really a fantastic match or not, but MJF defeated Brian Pillman. It was a pretty decent match.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was a good
I like that
match.
they're giving Pillman Jr. a little airtime. He's not necessarily featured all the time there, but they gave him
Yeah.
some airtime.
And then Cody Rhodes versus Malachi Black. Great, a turn of the hand. You know what I'm saying? Turn of the hand going on.
Well, people cheered for Malachi Black coming out, and people booed Cody, which I
Yes.
think was, and it's supposed to be vice versa. Well, technically, Cody's supposed to be the baby face, and Malachi's supposed to be the heel. But if you notice, didn't Cody come out of the middle? He's not coming out of either the heel or the baby face side of
No.
that thing. He came out the middle.
Yeah.
So that's I thought that was very interesting. Even though Malachi Black won in heelish fashion, spraying the mist at Cody, it was. I thought this was a pretty good match. I'm not the world's biggest Cody fan. I didn't. This match
And
really.
see, and that's why people don't like him because there's some people out there that's not Cody fans.
Yeah,
He got
I
that
mean,
John Cena love.
well, I'm not like. I don't hate the guy. I think he thinks a little too much of himself. I think because he's the son of a freaking legend. But I've never really been fully convinced. I do like him, but not that much. You know what I mean? I don't like be like, oh man, I got to get that new Cody shirt because or something to that effect. So that's pretty much that story. That was a pretty decent match though overall. And I also know that there was the women's match. Was there anything else that we should discuss before that?
No, it was a women's
Okay, so
match.
it's
You
just
had
the
CM
women's
Punk
match.
promo after the
The
Omega
CM Punk
match.
promo. Yep.
Yeah, but
Who the
besides
crowd
that,
just popped. The crowd just popped for him doing a promo.
yeah.
I mean that guy is so over. Even the guy who hasn't wrestled in 7 years or whatever.
But it was a
And
great segue because if you would put a match on after that, it would have been wrap.
yeah,
After the Omega match, you put on anything after that, it would have been a wrap.
right,
So it was
right.
great to put the promo on.
So they ended up doing the women's main event was Ruby Soho challenging Britt Baker. I thought this was a really good match. I didn't think there was really any way that Ruby Soho was going to take home the title.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
I just thought it's not time to take the belt off Britt Baker. She's really good as champion. Do I think that Ruby Soho is going to get a chance with that title down the road? Absolutely, 100%. I think um, sh- her leaving WWE, that's totally a loss for WWE. And she's showing only in her two or three appearances in AEW right now that she's worthy talent. She's really, really good. And I thought that she put on a really great match with Britt Baker.
And yeah, and not only that, since we missed last week, we didn't do last Sunday. The promo that her and Britt Baker did on AEW Rampage, that was great to set up. And that
Yep.
just proved that she know how to do promo work. She know
Mm-hmm.
how to do all that WWE didn't let her do. But segue into the match was real good, and it really gave some great rub towards Britt Baker and her character going forward.
Right. So, what else do we have to talk about? I mean, I know there's Extreme Rules. I don't have anything else set up for that outside of
I
like.
don't. I forgot about.
Is there anything else we're
Raw.
missing?
You had Raw last week with the Bloodline versus New Day.
Yeah, I did watch that
kinda-
match. I didn't go past that match. That was actually a
Yeah,
pretty decent match. It wasn't.
it was a good match. Yes.
Yeah, that was what I watched out of that show. Tuesday, I watched NWA, but it was
Oh,
like
let's talk about. I forgot NXT 2.0. What you thought about it?
I did watch that. Oh,
Okay.
I watched both episodes. All right, so the first episode was the relaunch, which was 2 weeks ago. We weren't able to come in and actually talk about it afterwards because that was one of the big topics I wanted to discuss Sunday was the new NXT 2.0. First off, the 2.0 name is dumb as hell. Whatever.
Just like the new Daniel Bryan, they kept on saying it.
They got the Skittles looking logo. I don't know, man. I like the setup. I'm going to say I do like the setup. The lighting, I'll tell you about the setup. Like, I like the way the arena is set up or the television studio, whatever. I don't know how many fans they're fitting in there. What, probably a couple hundred, maybe, it looks like.
Yeah.
The lighting, yeah, seems like about that. I think the arena could have been a little bit darker.
Yeah.
I like a darker arena. I don't like WWE for decades, since the 80s, has had this thing where they like to have the lights up bright because they want to show how many people are in attendance. They want to show that the crowd is packed. Whereas watching the NWA, it was a darkened arena and they just focused on the in-ring product.
Yeah.
I don't want to see all the crowd like that. I want it dimmed and I just want to see what's going on in the ring. I don't care about the crowd as much. I don't care about seeing how many people are in the crowd. It's just... So it was like one of those things where it's like, that part was kind of, but it's not like that serious of a thing. And on top of it, I think they could have used different ring ropes, different colored ring ropes. The white, for me, is not very attractive. Doing all white ropes, the yellow ropes I thought worked fine, but obviously we're not gonna get that anymore. Try something different as far as ring ropes go. That's the only thing. Other than that, we started off the show with Braun Breaker, Rick Steiner's son, and LA Knight, Eli Drake. And I was really freaking impressed by this, by Rick Steiner's son, by Braun Breaker. I thought everything he did in that ring, he looked exactly like Rick.
Absolutely.
Right down that clothesline that he did, it was the same formula that he did, like with that, where he like hit him with the shoulder and the arm. I thought that kid, and apparently there's big freaking plans for this kid, that according to the news that I've read, and he's I really thought that he was good. I really liked that match.
You had his debut, and then you had a debut of Bloom's kid from Beverly Brothers.
Yes, Wayne the Train Bloom. Yep. Yeah. There was the 4-way for the title, and which Tommaso Ciampa is the 2-time Goldie's back home finally with Tommaso Ciampa. I love Tommaso Ciampa. I do.
Yes.
But I've been listening to guys like Alvarez and Meltzer and stuff like that. They're talking. It's like they don't want to see a bunch of 2-minute matches, and they would rather see the days of the 5-star match on regular NXT TV are gone. It's not going to happen anymore. It's going to be a lot of squash matches. It's going to be they're reformatting it similar. Basically, what me and you talked about prior to it happening is going to be the third version of Raw, basically. So in Raw
prime time wrestling.
Yes. So it's like it's going to be squash matches. There's going to be maybe a main event match. Now, the 4-way match for the title. Now, I'm not a huge I'm very traditional when it comes to wrestling. I'm not a huge multi-way match person. It's got to be well done. Bear with me while I try to remember. It was Ciampa.
That's fine.
LA Knight. It was Wayne the Train Bloom's kid. I forgot his name. And I'm missing one. There's
It's
one.
some type of weird name they came up with. I forgot.
Yeah, it was some freaking weird name. And who's the fourth person? Am I? It wasn't Pete Dunne, was
Um,
it? Was it
Pete
Pete
Dunne.
Dunne? Yep. Okay.
Yes.
Who I like a lot. I do think Pete Dunne's great. He's one of those old school style British wrestlers. So I thought this match was pretty good, and I'll remember Bloom's name eventually. I'll start to. It's after they change guys' names so quick when they come in there that you can't necessarily keep up sometimes. So I always forget.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'll get it wrong. I'm still calling Eli or LA Knight Eli Drake. So
Yeah.
I've known him like that for years. I'm not going to about this. So, but this kid, I mean, he wasn't like I don't know how he had only been in there. Was this his debut? So
This was his debut for
somehow he
NXT, but I
got
think he been there for months. But it was crazy because WWE trademarked Rex Steiner.
yeah,
So
they did do
like
that. Yep, and that
trademarked that,
was
but
they didn't use that, but I don't know if they're going to
it,
change it because a lot of people are annoyed with the Braun Breaker name. So,
yeah, you already had Braun
yeah.
Strowman. So what's going on?
Yeah, I'm not necessarily offended by the Braun Breaker name like a lot of people are.
Yeah.
It's just, it's kind of a goofy name, sure, but I don't get too offended. It's like, I mean, Jimmy Wang Yang, that'd be a name to get offended over, but, or also like a change in that guy's name, but Braun Breakers, there can be a hell of a lot worse. But this whole match with the four-way match, I thought was pretty done pretty decent. I don't know how Wayne Bloom's kid, whatever the fuck his name is, I should probably look it up instead of just continuing to call him Wayne Bloom's kid. But I don't know how he got in there if it's his fucking debut. You know what I mean? How he ended up getting in there, but it
Well,
was a
how
pretty
he ended up
decent
getting in
match.
there was I'll tell you how he ended up getting there. I forgot who got jumped. That's supposed to originally be in.
Hmm.
Oh, Kyle
That's
O'Reilly.
right.
Kyle
That's
O'Reilly
right.
got jumped.
Yep.
So he came in there and saved him. And William Regal said, "Well, guess what? You were in the match." So that's
Yeah.
how that got set up.
That's how
Truthfully,
that
but
got set up.
yeah,
But they was like, it
yeah,
doesn't make any sense from like a business standpoint to nobody knows who the fuck this guy is that you're throwing in there outside of him saving.
exactly,
So it didn't
exactly.
really. It's like somebody showing up and claiming they want a title match. It's ridiculous. Overall, I wasn't necessarily. I always liked Wayne Bloom. I do see the potential in his kid. I followed his father back in the old AWA and the Beverly Brothers and all that stuff and WCW. I think that I
Beverly
think this
Brothers was
kid
an
does.
underrated team as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. They weren't even there that long though either. If you actually look at their tenure, and do you remember their manager, their coach, who was the Golden Greek John Tolos. So he's
Yes.
also like a very goofy guy. On top of it, he was really good, a legend in professional wrestling.
Mhm.
I thought the match overall was pretty good, and then the following week, they had Ciampa and Breaker team up and in a match, and after the end. They ended up going to. They're definitely building towards Braun Breaker and Tommaso Ciampa probably for their next pay per view. And
I
I'm
don't
guessing
even
that
think they're gonna do a pay per view, dude. I really don't think
no,
so. I think they just gonna keep this the way it is. I think they gonna kill the takeover. Bro. I'd be surprised as hell if they do a takeover.
I didn't even think they're gonna do something like any
They
super
probably
like
do
big
a
show.
TV special. They probably do a TV special.
Okay. I mean, I wasn't necessarily against. I mean, I know there's not supposed to be any takeovers, but um, I'm wondering if they're going to do any kind of like actual like bigger shows like that. So that's the thing,
It
where
doesn't
that's
look
not
like
just
it. Look
squash.
like yeah, it look like they trying to revamp everything that Triple H did a little
So
bit. I hate to say,
what the hell's the point in even watching if you think about it?
dude. I'm to the point where I've been watching like a lot of news stuff. Like it's to the point that I think USA. Do you remember USA gave them a TV deal? They gave them a TV deal for NXT, that the hot NXT. They didn't
Yeah,
give them a TV deal to NXT 2.0. So
so it's gonna end up
basically,
back on the network like 205 Live or whatever.
yeah, man. So it's just like I mean, hopefully, if they do a takeover, hopefully, to me now, I'm sure you could agree. This is like first time NXT first started. I ain't talking about the game show. I'm talking about like the groundwork of NXT
Hmm.
before it got popular, before we started learning like certain stars. But I mean, truthfully, I mean they relaunched it to build new stars that go into the future on TV. And Braun Breaker looked like he's one of those guys, and I enjoyed a little bit of it. I mean, like you said, I like the setting.
I didn't hate it, but
Yeah. I mean,
the second week was worse.
I'm different because I don't want it too bright, but I like to see the crowd out and out. So, why I can't stand that dark look? It reminds me of Bill Watts WCW 1992. And ever since
I don't see what's wrong with that. I don't see what's wrong with
that. I know, but I usually, why I don't like it, because I usually take that as you just trying not to show that you didn't draw fans. And I remember WCW in their dying days, they used to do that, like darken the whole arena, going from Nitro, where they had the Georgia Dome or whatever, All-State Arena or whatever. They're packed, and then all of a sudden, it's all darkness. So that's why I kind of take that personally, where I don't like it dark like that. I'd rather see the fans. I'd rather see that you drew. But, that's your
the other thing with that is, like, Bill Watts was very old school, and not for nothing, in 1992 when Bill Watts was there, it was probably one of the worst periods that they ever had. Even though if you look back at the tapes, it's a very underrated period. It really is.
Yeah, there was a lot of good matches.
The thing with WCW was it was all the bullshit and stupidity and dumb characters and that outshined all the really good stuff. There's definitely more good stuff than there was bullshit, but it's the bullshit that's brighter and people remember, you know what I mean, if you get what I'm saying. And it's unfortunate for WCW, because the only thing is that they were trying to do was keep up with WWF and their modern technology and their modern way of building characters. And they just so happened to not be as good at it as WWF, or had just the creative mind that WWF had, WCW gave us Oz. WWF gave us Diesel. So, it's like the stupid stuff like that. They made things that they just went a little bit too far with the characters. And the 90s was just a very character-driven professional wrestling era.
Absolutely.
So that's the unfortunate. Yeah. But that's why, and like Bill Watts tried, but he also tried to build. He did a lot of good for it. I mean, he brought Steve Williams and Terry Gordy in as a tag team that were, they were wrestling in Japan. They were wrestling the Steiners. I mean, you can't really go wrong.
Yeah. The fun fact: he brought back Ric Flair. Nobody knows about that, but he brought back Ric Flair. Before he got fired, he brought him back. Yeah. So, man, he did some good. He, made Ron Simmons world champion, first black world champion.
Yep.
And it's just, it's a diamond in the rough what Bill Watts did for WCW.
Absolutely. And he got fired and he was shit on for the rest, the next 30 years or so. That
he was more shit on than Jim Herd.
That guy's. We'll have to do a whole episode on Jim Herd. I mean, we could start.
Why don't we? Because I remember that whole era.
Yeah.
I definitely want to talk about the Black Scorpion.
I'm going to tell you that a lot of people shit on that, but
I like that I like that.
I'm going to tell you.
So don't tell me you like it. You like
it? I do.
Okay. Let me tell you why that feud worked. Let me tell you why it could have worked. If they didn't say anything that has something to do with the segue to Ultimate Warrior, it could have worked.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, Flair lost.
Mm-hmm.
Lost the title at the Great American Bash. He never got his rematch against Sting. So basically, what he had to do, he had to sit here and play mind games with Sting, be a masked man, and then he got unmasked at Starrcade. The story is there. It's just all fucked up.
Yes, because they did so many things out of order. Like it just seemed like, and it's like, and not for nothing from at that time, the rumor was that they were trying to sign the Warrior. They just couldn't get him away from his fucking contract. And that's why that was like the original plan. It's like, wouldn't you wait until you actually had the fucking guy under contract? So they're throwing these things. And then I remember being disappointed when I found out it was Flair. But it was like, okay, that's weird. Well, they
I
said
was a
if you
kid,
remember
and
there's one of the promos probably is like, do you remember the summer of 1986 or something to that effect? And I just looked up and I was like, that's the Ultimate Warrior. That's what they're referring to. But
yeah,
Sting wasn't in the National Wrestling Alliance in 1986. I think he might have even him and the Warrior were teaming in Memphis or something to that effect. So it was a direct Ultimate Warrior reference. So
we'll talk about more of that later if you want to do a
we
whole
should do.
episode. Yeah,
Let's do a whole
I
episode.
enjoyed the Black Scorpion. I swear to God, I did.
Yeah.
I was listening to one of the podcasts the other day, and it was like that was the worst angle ever. Yes, it was, but it has so much potential.
It did. It did. And we can also talk about the Renegade, okay? Like when they
Yes.
so all right, so Extreme Rules,
Want to talk a
basically.
little
So
about Extreme Rules?
let's talk a
Yes.
little bit about Extreme Rules. We got a few more minutes left. So I did not totally hate this show, but I was kind of bored throughout the entire thing. Um, for it, something being called Extreme Rules, it was not very extreme at all. It just seemed like it was mildly uh, extreme.
I
So
think they were
AJ,
trying to do before we go through it, I think they were trying
eh,
to do the concept of having just the main event be Extreme Rules.
that wasn't even that extreme to begin with, but
It
you know,
wasn't.
yeah. So the rundown is New Day, and all three of the New Day defeated AJ and Amos, excuse me, if I said that right, and Bobby Lashley. This I thought was pretty decent. I think Bobby Lashley is killing it this year. 2021 is Bobby Lashley's year, man. That guy has been killing it. And the thing is, like, I struggled with accepting his return to the WWF in the beginning because I didn't think he was really doing much. But ever since, like, before, like, his title win and the Hurt Business and this, I think he's killing it now, dude. Like, he's doing some of his best work he's done in his entire career.
I agree. Him and then it proves right now since MVP is hurt, he can
Mm-hmm.
do the mic work as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've seen the mic work after the big tag match that was going on, the 6-man tag, and you know it's set up for what it's set up for Monday Night Raw. But you know, Bobby Lashley is really coming into his own, and I just hope that they give him back the title. But
I'm sure he'll
not
have another run
from
at
Big
some point.
E. You know,
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
hopefully some point again. But he's so good right now, and I'm so proud of that dude because he been through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about like a lot of promotions where it was TNA at the time, and then back here, and then they gave him that sister angle at the beginning of WWE, and
Yeah.
you know he has really come into his own. I'm glad they giving him a chance.
It seemed, I think it was 2020. He was in that feud with Lana and what's his name? Miro, whichever.
Yes.
And I thought that was like the most ridiculous thing. And I was just like, neither of these people deserve this angle right now. It's completely ridiculous. But I think 2020 was the year of trying to figure out what the fuck was going on during COVID and how could we continue. So,
Yeah. It was real good 6-man tag though. I enjoyed it.
I liked it a lot. The Usos retain the tag titles against the Street Profits. Did I get that right? So,
Yes, you're right.
yeah, I did. I did get that right. So match. I'm kind of getting tired of the Usos, though, to be honest with you. It was a pretty so match. I'm not the world's biggest Street Profit fans. I think they just, that whole party type gimmick type, the Red Cup thing is just, I'm too old for that stuff. Maybe I'm just an
You
old
know
man.
what it is not too much tag teams in the WWE in
Yeah.
general, and especially SmackDown alone. So I done seen this match at least 5 times, and
Mm-hmm.
I understand how you feel. First time it was good. And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You lose interest after a while. I know one match I will not lose interest in is Danielson and Omega, though. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a whole nother story.
Some
But yeah.
fans may hate that right now. They may hate that. They may send us a angry tweet.
Oh, sheesh. Can't believe I got that kind of feedback. Charlotte successfully defended the Raw Women's title against Alexa Bliss. At the end of the match, she took Lily and shredded her. Is that Lily? That's the name, right? And then shredded it to pieces. And
this was actually a good match.
I think that these two performers are some of the top performers, not just women, but two of the top performers in professional wrestling today. I think Alexa Bliss just keeps getting better and better, really. And
Yes.
and Flair is already a legend. You know what I mean? I hate to say it, a living legend, so to speak. She's not. She's just getting to that legend status. She's only been around a few years, so
Yeah.
I think it was a great match.
But I enjoyed this match, except for the minus the ending, which is always the WWE way. But the match itself was real good.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
enjoyed it. Enjoyed
There's always
every
going
bit.
to be some sort of fuck up in a match or some sort of bullshit in a WWE match. It's just, and we're going to get into that when we discuss the main event. Trust me, I've got some
Yes.
opinions
Oh,
on the
I'm
main
ready.
event.
Me and
Oh,
you. Yes, I'm ready.
not only that, Damian Priest retained the United States Championship against Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. This just seemed like this match was just there. It was like a space filler because they
It
needed
was
a
a good
match.
triple threat though.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And Bianca Belair by disqualification. I'm guessing that that's what they rule. I don't think they actually made an announcement, but beat Becky Lynch by DQ. When Sasha Banks returned and attacked her, and they went to go shake hands at the end, and she turned. Sasha Banks attacked Becky Lynch. She's back, and she's basically going to go after the title. She doesn't give a shit.
I was just thinking about her earlier. I was like, "Tag, where is she at?" And then all of a sudden, I'm looking, and she just pops in the picture and tag Bianca. So,
Yep.
yeah, I guess they bring her back, and we go set up for some triple threat action.
I'm guessing the next event, the next pay per view, which would be the Survivor Series. No, what's in
Yes.
October?
It was.
Survivor
Well,
Series.
Crown Jewel.
Oh, Saudi Arabia. Yeah, that's the yeah. But they
Yeah.
usually do two pay per views with Crown Jewel's usually like a bonus one. I don't remember what
And
the
you
hell
can't
it
do
is.
Hell in a Cell. They already did that.
I'm tired of that. Yeah, we'll figure out what it is and then we'll mention it on the next episode. So the main event was the Demon Finn Balor challenging um, Roman Reigns for the Universal title. This is supposed to be a Extreme Rules match, which basically anything goes, but pinfall or submission needs to happen in the ring.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about what happens, but I think Roman Reigns' championship reign is tarnished because the Usos have to get involved in every major match that he's involved in, and it doesn't. Do you think that happened to guys like Bruno Sammartino or Pedro Morales, like where somebody had to assist them to win every single match when he was about to lose? It's just annoying to see every single match these guys have to come in and assist him and make sure that he wins. I don't think that every heel champion even had to have somebody come in like that, like something similar or cheat every time either. It's just it seems like Roman Reigns it's like the modern era. It seems like every heel needs some sort of assistant in every single match, and it doesn't look good to me.
Yeah, I mean,
Am I taking it too
okay,
seriously? Am I taking it too seriously?
you kind of are because you
I mean,
always have
I'm just.
Flair. You have Flair, the Four Horsemen. They always got interfered.
All right, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that
You
one.
had Triple H at Evolution. They always interfered. Like it's been going on for years, dude. I understand how you feel. You're very passionate. I respect it. But Roman Reigns need that help. He needed that. He needed help.
But if you're going to build him up as to be the guy that he's supposed to be, I just don't think that you need that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's just personal opinion. Personal opinion.
Everybody entitled to their opinion. I respect it. It was funny.
Okay.
You really vented just then. So
I know, but it's like, I've been watching wrestling close to 35, 40 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, not every,
like Hogan. Like
yeah.
Hogan. Hogan always had the NWO do the run-ins every Monday.
Yeah.
Like
it's just like ever since like the
way.
90s, it's just like a regular thing. And it's just kind of you need to have some sort of, legitimacy to it in a small way. You know what I mean? That it doesn't have to happen in every single match because it's just with that happening in every single match, it just I don't know, man. It's like it's too predictable. That's one thing. You know what I mean? I hate things that are too predictable. know what I mean? Because you just know the there you go, double super kicks coming out of nowhere. You know these guys are coming in. I don't know.
Exactly. Nah. I enjoyed the match. It was okay. Like I said, I mean, it wasn't an Extreme Rules match at all. It
Yeah,
was Demon versus
there
Roman
was a
Reigns.
table. That's it. Like I
Yeah,
just think that there was a table.
table spot and a spear into the guardrail. That was it.
One
And
of
a
the things
Kindle
I
that was taped
in the
for.
kendo sticks. Yeah, one of the things I listened to and I or heard, I think it was Michael Cole. He mentioned that the Demon has never lost in WWE as the Demon. Finn Balor has never lost. And then all of a sudden he's laid out, and then the Demon's heart beats, which I thought was like okay. And then he gets up and he ends up getting beat within about 2-3 minutes. I thought it was kind of entertaining, so to speak, but yeah, it was kind of entertaining. But I didn't. When he said that, and then the heart beating, I was like, oh shit, is there actually a chance he's gonna win? Because I didn't think by any stretch that he was actually had any chance of winning this match.
Mm-mm.
So, yeah, I guess I was ended up being right in the long run. So,
All right, so I'm just gonna tell you because I had to look to the side and put my hat down and laugh because that ending was so stupid. I
mhm.
swear to God, that ending was so stupid. I'm
Has
sitting
that
there
happened
watching, like,
before?
hold up, okay, a rope break has happened in a
Oh,
lot of
that's the
matches throughout the
yep.
years. Don't
That's the
get me
one
wrong,
thing.
it has happened throughout the years.
Yep.
Now, what threw me off was when I watched it. Okay, I respected the heartbeat thing and him
Mhm.
getting extreme and all. I respected all that. I enjoyed it. I was sitting there like, okay, this is different. But when he jumps on the top rope and the shit clicks, I'm like, okay, that happens in wrestling.
It
But the
does.
thing
I've
is,
seen it
what threw
many
me
times.
off is when it broke and the music just stops. I'm like, hold up, no. They should have kept the music stop going with the red light because if the rope break, why would you turn off all that? Why would you? Because that should just happen and you
It
like,
took
oh
away
fuck.
from the yeah. Well, the other thing is when I was watching it, I was questioning whether that was a legit rope break or it was planned. But then it took about 2 seconds to figure out what if that
Yes.
it was actually planned. Because I was like, hold up, because I wasn't fully paying attention. You know what I mean? I was
Mhm.
kind of like looked away and I looked up and then I saw the rope snap. And I'm like, hold up, shit, right here on TV. I was like, that doesn't happen that often. Like
It's
I've seen it happen, but it doesn't happen too often. But and then all of a sudden, he was struggling. I was like, I wonder if he's legit hurt and holding his leg. But like you said, though, the music. So I didn't even think of that part. But then, when I saw him stand up, he gets speared. I'm like, that shit was all part of the show. That's it.
yeah,
So it
dude.
was like it
Yeah,
took two
and it's
seconds.
okay. No, it's
Hmm.
okay to end it the way they did. But the thing
Yeah.
is, it's like you don't just cut the music off and shit and just like, oh, well, the rope break. Okay,
Well,
the
there's
rope
no.
break. You still gonna
Yeah.
keep that going because like
Yeah. Yeah. There was nobody, and nobody
just
seemed to like really check on him hardcore to make. You know what I mean? So that's another reason why I was like, you knew it was planned. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Wonder how they ended up getting that shit to break right on the. Right on cue. That's the other thing. Uh, they must have
yeah,
planned
it
that
can
pretty well.
happen. I,
Oh
I
yeah,
met the guy that I met the guy that sat there and set up the ring where it does the Brock Lesnar thing and all that stuff. He know how to do all that.
oh yeah. I'm sure
You know.
they got a lot of technical guys that do that stuff there for them. So, is there anything else that you want to discuss before we get out of here?
Nah, man, we covered the last 2 weeks. We covered
Yes, it's
Dieselmania
an
5.
action-packed episode.
This was a stacked episode, and I mean, I enjoyed every bit of it. And like I said, I am back for probably a limited time. Probably, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but we are going to keep it going every Sunday
Every
and
Sunday,
keep
we got
doing
a
our
lot of
thing.
news to talk about. Every single week, we got stuff to talk about. The world of
Yeah,
professional wrestling never ends.
it's always news every week now. Yeah,
Yep.
every week.
Yep.
Before it wasn't. Now it's news every week.
Yeah. Well, there's like fucking six top promotions in the United States. Not to mention all the great indie stuff that we got. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. So make sure you follow Marcel on the social media. It's
At Showtime Marshall. I know Rick was trying to give it to y'all, but I'm gonna give it to y'all for him. At Showtime Marcel. Check me out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Marcel Williams. Shoot me a message if y'all want to chat. And Rick Del Santos gonna give you the rest of the rundown.
Check us out on Instagram and Twitter, PWZ Podcast. You can check me out on Twitter at the Rick Del Santo. Jeez, I almost forgot. I almost gave the same one out twice. And we are on TikTok now at PWZ Pod, where we are doing some really cool clips. I'm taking classic clips. I'm taking clips of the podcast. I'm taking some current interesting clips. Come by, say hello, and give us a follow. All right, everybody. Enjoy.
Be well, be safe. Good night.